Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, one of the rulers of Hell, or specifically Manga Hell, and today I come to you to react to the newest chapter of Iruma-kun, chapter number 222, The Talks and a bit of a weird chapter title for how the talk is still gonna be a thing. Like, it's not like we go in a full-out final battle type scene. Like, I'm not sure why it's called that. Maybe just referring to Balam's conversation with Ilma's sister and Hattori, but I guess maybe it's something else. But yeah. Anyways, let's get into this chapter, Tori, shall we? So we start this chapter off with a flashback. I guess this chapter was made more for explaining the situation a bit clearer, since we got an idea what the plan was going on in the last chapter, but this one is to give us a more clear idea. I wonder if in the anime they're gonna have like both of these this chapter, this beginning of this chapter and the last chapter's backstory together, if they're gonna be separated. Mm, I'm, it's it's something that's curious to me. Just so now we have Ball explaining the plan a bit more. When you infiltrate Babyliss, there will be three demons you should avoid as much as possible. First, Sullivan, then the god Dark Barriers, and find a high-ranking demon who matches him in strength. The Gargoyle, Balam Sichiro. And then we get a panel of Balam sitting and telling, oh shit, one of the three who we should be avoiding. Now, this is something I'm just curious to hear from you, the audience. Is, do you think that when Bal was telling them to avoid, do you think he was referring to because of how powerful Naberu, Kalago, and Balam are, or was he just referring to if you two fight, it will get more chaotic and you will not be able to finish your mission? Or they'll expose you quicker? Because, again, we don't know the Six Fingers ranks, and the way they are talked about makes me think they are really high ranking, like right below the 13 crowns in terms of power. So I'm definitely curious on where do they rank. So yeah. Now we begin the conversation. And Bal starts with, sorry I can only offer you this simple tea. And then I'm guessing Hattori is a bit smirking. He's like, "Still good. Thanks a bunch." And then Hattori begins to say, "We wanted to chat with you too, so we're really happy you invited us." And then Bal responds with, "Oh, really? That's good then." I guess now they have to like be as friendly to him for him to not suspect anything, since things are gonna go since they act extremely suspicious, it's gonna alert things even more. And then we have a totally thinking Balam, blood liability, buzzer. He can instantly sense any lie or falsehood. I feel like this is one of those things that the writer of Iruma-kun probably realized sometime during the process when he's like, wait, I'm gonna have a bunch of traitors infiltrated. Maybe having them be here will Balam with a character who can detect these type of things may not be a good idea, since let's be real here, how many times has someone infiltrated this Babylon at this point? I mean, Kiryu has twice, then the number one from the Six Fingers, and then that random guy who also works for Bal infiltrated once. So yeah. Now we get a bit of a visual of that, how Bowser works. I'm guessing don't remember if it's that's how it always visualizes, but that's just how he visualizes it, and that is like, for it seems to be more of a liquid form, like a bit of an ocean, like. And I'm guessing when someone lies, it's like it's a bit tsunami or something. And then we have Sato being like, no ripple can escape his watchful eye. And then after the Balam takes a sip, he's like, no, can you two tell me why you wanted to become teachers? And then, no, we don't actually see Hattori and Iuma's sister like twitch or anything. Like they're just like they're having their standard eyes. And then a Tori is that it kind of gets more like, oh shit, as Iruma takes a nice, cute little sip. She looks so cute in these in these panels. And Tori responds with, "That came out of nowhere." And Balam's like, did it?" And Tori just says, "I mean, wouldn't you usually start by asking newbies their hobbies or favorite food or something?" And then one of them, I'm guessing she, Iruma's sister, and Balam like, I'm guessing Tori's trying to like change the subject or try to be like, all right, Balam, sir, senpai. I understand that this is a logical question, just that we would thought you would ask this a bit later. I mean, I thought the first thing you're gonna talk about us is like our personal stuff more. But then Balam is like, I think it's normal for co-workers to ask a question like, why did you two come to Babyliss? And then we get that shot of back of Atori's head as she does with only one of her eyes open. I wonder if this was like, is this supposed to be like an artistic type of thing? Or if that's just supposed to just be like a her ability or something else. I'm not sure. And then Atori just blatantly states, "We came to Babyliss to destroy it," with a very sadistic look on his face. Oh, that sadism is really entertaining. And then she like looks at her in shock, and he's like, "Huh?" I guess he's shocked at the fact. I'm guessing. I'm not sure if he's shocked at that what he said, or is he shocked the fact that his his ocean did not shake or anything. And now we see the ocean, and and then we have a close up of Balam's eye, and Atori's like, "That's in a purely education sense, of course." As there's this flowers over him, which still looks very sadistic and nasty. And then he tries to explain even more, like, or should I have said revolutionized? I'm not bound by tradition. New education, that means a new style. Sato is like trying to explain in the best way he can that's the truth, kinda in that way, so he can say what's true, but he also has to say it like, alright, I have to make it so it's not overly obvious I'm trying to cause chaos here. I guess Toy is taking more of a charge, and Iruma's sister is not really the most vocal one. So I'm pretty sure that I'm not sure if it's like, I'm forgetting in the manga, but in the anime, they had this like thing where she like said something, but they had to end her sentence like, "Will you have some tea?" So I'm guessing that's why Toy is more speaking here. And then Balam is like, I would say that's a rather extreme way to put it. As then Toy tries to laugh it off as he touches his ear, be like, "You think so? Well, creation can't be done without some destruction." So I guess that's the idea. So I guess that's kind of like we getting more of a mindset for a Tori. Like, if we then want to create something, we have to destroy it first. Although I'm guessing Tori is more like into the destruction part of it than the creating something new from it. And then we see Tori's cup cracking a bit as he takes attention of it and looks back at Balam as Balam starts saying, "By the way," as we see this like really creepy panel. I'm guessing this is what's actually happened. Balam's actually doing, where we see a bunch of vines with eyeballs behind him, and Balam covered in shadow with one eye open, as he's like, "The students won't be caught in that destruction, right?" As we see a toy going that like, "Ooh, this is gonna get fun." And excited, it's sadistic, intense. I guess a toy and Vodka would get along well for some reason. And then get like ready to like jump. But then immediately Yuma's sister, being the voice of reason, is like, "As teachers of Babyliss, we won't do anything that would put the students in danger." And she's completely just calming the mood down completely. And she's like, "Ever." And then we see the ocean again, being completely calm as Bomb is like, "Oh, alright." And she's like, great. And it's like, hey, I wasn't going to do anything like that either. And he's like, and I was like, sorry, I feel the same as her. Yeah, and I'm saying that she was like, yeah. As well as like, ha 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 ha. And that's the end of the conversation. Pretty quickly, I was expecting it was gonna be like a longer, more comedic one, not going straight to the point. And then we have she's Iruma's sister and Atori walking away as Atori's like, hee. That was exciting, wasn't it? You felt that, right? So much pressure. I felt so threatened. Woo! As he starts to act like he's very lustful in this scene. Like he's like, oh yeah, how great. And we get another one of those like sadistic, lustful faces. Where he's like, I'm so glad we came to Babylus. I really am curious how this is gonna go with this character because he's really fun so far. And then there's like, you too, right, Shi-chan? As Iruma's sister looks down the floor. And then we cut to her outside looking at the flowers. As her little brother shows up, he's like, huh, Shida sensei? As she takes a note of it. And then Iruma's like, why are you sitting out here? As his sister responds with, I was basking in the sunlight. And that's what I mean, that we have those like cuts in when she speaks, although that could be taken as nervousness. But then Uma's like, oh, that sounds nice. And then she looks back in the flowers like, and the flowers looked really pretty. As Yuma then starts being like, oh, I'm glad you like them. I was the one who planted them here. Is his sister like, you did? And Yuma's like, in fact, I was going to plant some more today. And then Yuma pulls out a bag where he's like, planting seeds. And he's like, would you like to help? And then we cut to Yuma and his sister planting the seeds. And Uma gives her instruction, be like, just like this, gently cover them with soil, and done. Alright, now we just need to water them, and we'll get pretty flowers. I wonder if these flowers that'll be grown here are gonna be something special, like to symbolize something. Like, you know, that super cool visual where it's like a character who has flowers, and then that character's gonna die, and then you like have that flower that he took very good care of, like slowly dying or rotting away, the leaves falling down. I wonder if that's what these flowers are supposed to gonna be with their relationship. And with that relationship, I mean brother sister relationship. I mean, I've been calling her Ilma's sister for this, and every time I refer to her. Literally, until someone says her name, I am literally calling her Ilma's sister. And then Ilma's sister's like, oh. As Ilma looks at her, and he starts saying, somehow it feels like we've done something like this before. Which is referring to in Walter Park where they were playing with cute little birds where she was like trying to make him happy because he was depressed because he got lost and all that. And then Ilma's sister's eyes widen and she looks at him and he was like, I'm sorry for saying something weird, but in class when we first met, I thought something was strange then too. As she's like getting more shocked. And he was like, is it possible that we. And then we cut to Bala being like, yes, I deem staff members Shida and Atori to be dangerous demons. What cued you on that part? Was it a sadist that was sitting right next to you? And he's talking to Sullivan, and he's like explaining exactly. They didn't trigger buzzer, but how often they touch their horn roots, which I guess Atori has his horns somewhere around his ear. Or maybe that could just be a translation error where he was actually meaning how many times they touch their ear or something. I'm not sure. how they drank their tea, even their fidging, as we see Yuma's sister drinking, and how they've been doing like small little symbols with hands and legs. And then we have Balami, like all of their behaviors were those of creatures that are hiding something. Though I'm still not sure what it is they are hiding. Yes, if they do anything bad to either the school or the students, they will receive the most gruesome education. So yeah, this is actually a pretty good thing we've seen because usually in these moments you had characters act very oblivious or that they'll be far behind. But I like it how in this one Balam is like, all right, they act like they are hiding something, like they are doing very basic signs that you're hiding it. And I better report at least that I'm noticing that it's something weird. I am not confirming anything, but I will be keeping my eyes out. So it's kind of nice to see it. And I was kind of predicting something like this would happen. Like we had this conversation, it looked like they're in clear, but Balam said no, or like it was completely gonna be unrelated. But for right now, as it looks like it seems things Balam is aware. Suleiman will be aware, so if anything weird starts happening with Balam, he'll know something's odd. And yeah. And now the final panel in this page, we see Yuma's hands as his sister is on top of him. Not in that way, people! Well, actually, it might be in that way. I'm not exactly sure how you mortals do stuff like this. We demons have it more dungeony, if you know what I mean. And then Yuma's sister's like, "Don't, you can't say another word about this." And she says that, and up to now, she spoke the same way how it looked beforehand, where she had like interrupted it. But now she gets like a clear sentence, which I only believe she gave with Balam's speaking when she was telling that the whole as teachers, we won't do anything. That's what I think is that it's similar to that. So I guess maybe that whole thing that she speaks with interruptions are more like she personally does it. And then we get like this very kind of very sad expression from her as Iruma looks at her, and then she like stands up and goes up and she's like, "Classes are over already. Go home now." As Iruma looks a bit confused. So let's talk about this a bit. Now, some people have theorized. Let's talk about two things first. One thing, the brain, the memory thing that the first finger has, and she does backstory. Hey, now the first fingers was the thing about the first finger thing is that it seems to erase people's memories of it, so people don't exactly know. Like they may know it's a staffer, but they're not gonna know which one specifically. So in that way, that means that Yuma, it's Yuma might remember someone like helping him, being when he was lost in the Walter Park, but he's not gonna remember specifically that's his sister. So some people were pointing out that maybe why she had to jump on him and keep his mouth from saying, "Have we met before?" Because that might trigger something where he will remember. Which is possible, don't get me wrong, but I'm not 100% sure about if that's gonna be the case. I could see her just jumping on to like, no, no, we never met before, don't think about this, like in kind of a panic state. I mean, she does seem to be like the most immature, well, not the most immature, like the youngest of the six fingers. I would imagine her having more of immature tendencies compared to the rest. Again, she's not the most immature one, but I could imagine her being more, more of a child like than the other ones. So yeah. Now the second thing is her backstory. some people were questioning it, what exactly is her backstory, because the thing is she really doesn't fit the whole Six Fingers ideology. Like a lot of the Six Fingers feel are more similar to a toy who seems to be a more of a sadistic individual. And now people are questioning how is that, if that's the case, then why is like why would someone like Shida join? In fact, in the last panel page, which let's just get over it since it's like not very much, it's just like it's just a toy and Balam, a toy walking, smart marking while Balam's like getting his his mask thing, and she's like, and Uma's sister's like, no matter what, I will protect you. And then when she looks at a picture of Iruma, it's like, I won't ever hurt you, referring to Iruma. So people were questioning is what exactly is her backstory here. Now, as for things that I view it, it's possible that she's been living with someone that is, like a very striking resemblance to Iruma. Like maybe she was an orphan. She lived with with a boy that was looking very similar to Yuma, and she lost that boy, or maybe she was the reason why that boy died or something. I'm not sure. Like something that she did, and then that's the reason why, and then that's the reason why she joined the Six Fingers, or maybe she did something so evil that they just put her in because they thought she was gonna be a sadistic, and then she kind of like she's more meek from what we've seen in this chapter in the last couple of ones. Maybe she just kind of played along with it. It's kind of like one of those things. You're a more meek person, and you can't really have like a more high ground. Like straight up, Shida cannot have more moral. Like Shida, in terms of action, is not morally better than the rest. If we're being totally honest. Although, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the chapter. This chapter again was like more of a setup chapter, and I'm definitely interested how this is gonna go, especially like how Yuma and his sister are gonna be interacting now. Like, is she gonna be more over the top? How will Balam interact? Like, I can totally imagine there being like moments where, let's say, I'm guess like classes in the next chapter are gonna be like Balam's gonna be sitting there looking at them as they're gonna ask, Balam Sensei, why are you here? And Balam's gonna be, I'm just making sure that you two are doing well. After all, the last new teacher that we got has got nothing but complaints from Calico, so I think if we got you guys when you are still beginning, or more observation and more assistance, of course, they will not be having so much problems with you. So I could see something like that with Shida and Atori. So yeah. But yeah, this chapter again was nothing all that special. Good moments. Can't wait for them to be animated. I feel like they're gonna be done really well, because it does feel like they do put extra intention to show how the love from Shida in these moments. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you liked the video. I hope you leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. Sure, leave a comment about your thoughts. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.